BLVE Live Sports presents The Hot Seat, where the people have a say in how we play pickleball. Sponsored by Heritage Banking and Quest Financial Services, Inc. Hosted by Dan Katz. Today's guests, board members from Rivertown Pickleball of Southern Indiana.
Welcome to the Hot Seat, where the people have a say in how we play pickleball. In today's episode, we travel down to Newburgh, Indiana to speak to three board members from the Rivertown Pickleball of Southern Indiana nonprofit. We will be discussing what it took for them to work with the community to build new pickleball courts. We have a special guest host today. BLVE.LiveSports welcomes Dan Katz, a Newburgh local news broadcaster who will be facilitating today's discussion. Dan?
Thank you, Damien. It's a pleasure to be here on the hot seat. I'm the guest host of this session with three special guests here. We're all members of the Rivertown Pickleball of Southern Indiana, and we're excited that the courts are almost ready, but we're going to kind of start from the beginning and figure out what it took to get to where it is now. We're almost to the grand opening, so it's a very exciting time. With me today, Gina Poling Adams, who is the president of the Rivertown Pickleball of Southern Indiana. We've got Ann Powless, treasurer, and we have Sean Reese, who is the administrator and events coordinator of the organization. Thank you all, ladies, for being here. And let's start with you, Sean. Why did you want to have pickleball courts in Newburgh?
Well, I run the pickleball ministry at First Christian Church, and we had 3 indoor courts, no outdoor courts at the time. The other courts in the area are all tennis courts that aren't meant to be playing pickleball on. The surface is very rough, a lot of cracks. There's really no place to do that. Over the last few years, we've been doing introduction to pickleball clinics at our church and have brought over 385 new players. Well, they've got to play someplace. Right. And we are overwhelmed at First Christian. We have now 3 indoor courts, but we've added 4 outdoor courts, and we still have 225 people on our active roster. So therefore, you're waiting for a while to rotate in and out of pickleball. And we have so many more that is flooding us with wanting to get into this world. So it is time to have some dedicated courts here in Newburgh.
Okay, but once there's a need, you got to figure out how you're going to get it going. Did you go to the city or the county, or how did you get that process started?
Yes, we did.
Okay.
We went to the city, the county, the state. Cindy Ledbetter said there were no funds for us. So then we formed a fundraising committee. The committee, they created a slideshow presentation. It's a wonderful presentation. And so they went, it was mostly Gina and Mark Neighbors, and they went out to the larger contributors and reached out to them. Then the board got together and we actually all discussed, okay, the different businesses in Newburgh and the surrounding area, people we knew that may want to, support us. And then we all reached out and called or emailed them and came up with a list. And any of them that said they did want to talk with us, then either Gina or Mark or Shelley Holder would go out and they would show their presentation and get the donations. We also formed a grant committee that helped us with this funding, and Gina helped with that again. Janie Melchers is the chair. Janie did a lot of research and wrote the grants, and we have thankfully received several grants. One was a matching grant, which was wonderful. We raised X amount of dollars and they matched us.
Okay, of course, you got to find out a place to put the court. I know there was some talk early on about maybe being along the Ohio Riverfront, Newburgh. I guess that didn't work out, but now you found another location and it seems to be working out, of course.
Well, the first thing I did was looked for individuals in our community that had the same mission and goals, who wanted to have pickleball courts in Newburgh. And so after we found those people, we went to the city and the county officials and asked if there was funds available, if they would be interested in putting in pickleball courts. And we were pretty much turned down. They said there was no funds available, and they weren't really sure about land. So we knew that it was going to be a process. We formed a board, and so we had more individuals who had the same mindset, were driven and dedicated and ready to get this process going.
All right, now that they've got the fundraising situation handled, we got to figure out how we can get the community involved. So how did you organize and mobilize folks to get involved in this?
Well, obviously Gina hand-selected people to be on her board. And the amazing thing is you had to start someplace. The amazing part is we all come with a difference in skill set, and each person brings something really unique to the table. People would not realize how much work hours we've put in over the last 2 years. And it's very important that we all get along and we support each other's ideas. So that's really important to have a functioning board that supports each other's ideas. From there, of course, we had to have a board attorney because there are some legal things as a 501c3 that we needed to have some advice along the way. We obviously had to create our bylaws, and we've made revisions along the way, and obviously voted in, our officers and all of our at-large positions. And we hold regular board meetings, and some are quite lengthy, but that's okay. We've got a lot to do.
Yes, you
and
do.
We're all very dedicated with each other and have one common passion, and that's to get these pickleball courts built for the town of Newburgh.
And it's happening.
It's happening.
So how are memberships started? I know you have some members now, but you want to grow that. How are you getting the word out?
So I think a lot of this started with the people at First Christian in that ministry, because I was able to pull them together and get a lot of ideas from them to find out if they're interested. And I wasn't sure when we started talking about a membership, we knew we needed financial support, but we were going to need volunteer support also. And I really wasn't sure whether or not they would come on board when we don't even have courts for them to play on it. For 2 years, we're still in the same boat of no place to play. So that was big, but they jumped right on board. They're whipping out their $100 going, I support you. And we have over 250 paid members right now. So that means we've almost outgrown our courts before we've moved into them.
Yeah, so you have not only pickleball players that are obviously wanting to join, but you are trying to get some investors and donors and sponsors. Right.
And a lot of these grants that she was talking about with Janie and a lot of the sponsorship, they want to know, how many people are you talking about? Is this interested in? Is it just you 10 people that are wanting pickleball courts, and after we could present our high numbers almost to 300, then they're going, okay, well, what's your age ranges? What's your genders? And we have all that facts, and that helped us to obtain a lot of the grants and open people's eyes about the sponsorships. So we are still increasing. We've had 16 new members just this week.
Wow. Well, when you do a project like this, you need a lot of help around the community, financial support, sponsors, things like that. And how did that happen?
Well, first thing we had to do is we had to set up our organization as a 501c3 nonprofit. This was key for us. One, for getting our grants, you had to be a nonprofit. And also there are some organizations that will not donate to you if you're not a nonprofit. So then what we did is the board, they met, they decided on what kind of levels we wanted for sponsorship. Our first level is court sponsorship. And that's $20,000. You could split it up between 2 years, $10,000 the first, $10,000 the next. We have 2 of those currently. When you're that sponsor, you will get these beautiful banners on. You get to pick which court you want. We currently have 2 of those, and we have 8 left. So we really think once people get out, the community gets out and sees our beautiful courts and how many people are out there playing, that they will want to be a part of that, and they will want to be on board and be a sponsor of a court as well. Then we also have a platinum level, a gold, a silver, and a bronze level. Any of these sponsors will also be on our, it's our court, our complex sign.
Mm-hmm.
We have a beautiful complex sign out at the courts. We also did another fundraiser, which was a brick fundraiser. You could purchase a brick and have your name put on it, whatever you wanted on it, your business. Those line the sidewalk as you walk up to our courts. It looks fantastic. Then another project that we did to raise money was we had a sold out comedy dinner show this spring. It was fantastic. We had a really good turnout. We also offered other opportunities for the community to donate. We had a half pot and we had a silent auction. Turned out great.
Well, that was great, that comedy night, and my brick looks great out there at the courts, as do a lot of others. And speaking of the courts, everybody wants to know what kind of courts you're putting in, the surface, what was involved with all that.
So there was a lot of planning that went into our courts. Originally, we had started with 8 courts, and after all of the membership and the interest, we ended up going with 10 courts. We worked with an architectural design company, Morley and Lamar, and they did a lot of donation for us, actually. So they drew up the plans, they did the 3D drawings, and it was really nice of them to be able to donate that. We needed that because we needed to go in front of our Parks Board. They required us to show them in real time what it was gonna look like. So they wanted to see what it would look like for us to put that out there. They had to vote on it. And also we needed that for presentations. Whenever we did our presentations to our business sponsors, they wanted to see what their names would look like and what they were investing in. So that was key for our project. We asked for donations of money as well as labor. So whenever we were putting in the courts, we asked for people to donate money in order to provide, all of the contractors and the contracts that we had, but also volunteers. So we checked with our excavating company and asked them what kind of labor they could donate to us. We had to have contractors that had their licenses and, insurance and everything, but there were donations given. So for instance, like the plumbing supply company, they donated plumbing pipe for us, and then, some of the labor was given. So there was big savings in that. And also, once again, with our 501c3, that gave us a tax exempt status, and that saved us a lot of money. So we had other volunteers for time. We had Boy Scout troops come out, which was a great partnership for us and the community because they needed to get their service hours in, and there are things that we needed, like picnic tables, and things that they were able to provide for us. So the project manager that we went with that instead of going with a whole contractor over the complex. This saved us money. So we were able to work with our subs, work with our project manager, and donate a lot of our time working on that with our construction committee. And then we had wanted to do this in phases. So we had planned on maybe just putting the courts in, then putting a building in, but the Parks Board wanted us to do construction all at once. So this kind of made us had to backtrack and come up with a lot more funding all at once instead of being able to do it in phases. But thankfully, we were able to do that with all of our donations and volunteer and donation money and time and labor. So yes.
When players who play on all kinds of surfaces around this area play on those pickleball courts out there, what will they think?
It's going to be amazing. So we have something special. We have something different that you won't see in other locations. We went with a cushioned mat system. So it's better on the body, better on the joints. And so I think that that is going to bring in a lot of people to our area. But that was something that we didn't take lightly. So we had multiple board meetings in regards to this. We went to multiple locations. We talked to multiple people and just trying to figure out what was best for our atmosphere, our topography, our climate. So it was a lot.
So has it been like a headache or a labor of love?
Both.
Yeah.
Obviously. There's been quite a bit of discussion and quite a bit of back and forth, but we wanted what was best for this community, and we didn't take this lightly. None of these decisions that have been made have been just spur of the moment. We have done research. We've put our heart and soul, our time. We are totally dedicated to make sure that we can provide the most state-of-the-art complex for our community.
So what was the actual building implementation like, Gina?
It was a lot of fun, actually. We experienced a lot of things that we didn't know we were going to be able to do. One of the things that we had to do was wait for our state permit for our building. As I said earlier, we couldn't do this in phases, so we had to do it all at once. So the state permit was key, and that delayed the project just a little bit. We had a fun groundbreaking ceremony. So that was August 30th of last year. And we were all very excited to be a part of this groundbreaking ceremony. We worked well with all the subcontractors. That was interesting. Our construction committee was just amazing. They worked with everyone. We made sure that the calendar was rolled out properly. We had to deal with weather delays, which were challenging. We thought maybe we would have the courts done in October of last year, but Mother Nature had other plans for us. Contractors had other plans within like the concrete. So we didn't realize we were gonna have delays, material shortages, which stemmed a lot from COVID. But when you can't get concrete, you can't pour quartz. So there was a time where we were actually pouring and the next day it snowed on our concrete. However, it was okay because we demanded that we put blankets over the concrete, so it was protected. But these delays were somewhat disheartening, but it made us stronger. And we all got through it, as a board. We all worked together, and the construction committee, they made sure that they let the board know what was going on at all times and leaned on them if they had any questions. So it was a team effort, that's for sure. It took a lot. We did not just have one contractor come in and take over this job. It was all of us that took care of everything from start to finish. We have a Facebook page that is over 1,100 strong, and we let our community know. We did Facebook Live videos. We did a lot of picture taking throughout the process. On our website right now, Sean and some others have worked really hard on updating all the pictures for our timeline. So you can go on our website, check out the timeline, and see all of that. And so we are really happy and excited with this finished product.
I'll bet. And I know you had that groundbreaking August 30th of last year, but it kind of times out really well because the ribbon cutting is a year to the day later.
Yes. Yeah. Yep. We're very excited. We chose that date as a board, and we thought that was just going to be a fun, momentous occasion, 1 week to the day.
That'll be great. And you're already planning tournaments, right?
We do. Yes. Our first big tournament at our complex is in October, the 20th through the 22nd. We're really excited about that. We'll have the 50 plus playing. And then, like it's a 3-day tournament, and you can play every day if you'd like. We have other things that we're really excited about. Sean and the league committee, they have been working on leagues. So we just opened up our leagues to members. Members only get to go on and they get to sign up for leagues. But then after a week, we'll open that up to the general public and the community.
It's going to be pretty exciting, I would imagine.
Yes.
Your hard work is paying off, I think.
Thank you.
And I think you can have a lot of people out there fighting for courts, I think, by the time this thing gets going. So that does it for the hot seat. Thank these ladies for coming in, talking about the brand new pickleball courts here in Newburgh. It's going to be exciting. Can't wait to get out there myself and start playing. It's going to be fun. And thanks to Damien for putting us on the hot seat. Have a great day.
Thank you.
Perfect. So if you're interested, please feel free to sign up, find out what's going on there on their calendar, and if you can be there, then all the fun to you. Take care.